Hi, we're Rocket from the Crypt, and you're watching 120 Minutes on MTV.
And we got the latest from Rocket from the Crypt coming up. I'm Matt Pinfield. Sitting next to me is Matt, Rod, and Sherlyn of the Rentals. The debut album is called Return of the Rentals. And speaking of the whole Rentals concept, Matt, tell us a bit about how you came up with the concept and the condensed soup version of that concept being over in Czechoslovakia.
The whole Czech thing came from me and Tom grimly playing too much in television, which is, and just thinking up really stupid things. And the combination of that and the fact that Weezer is on DGC and they legally can't say that we're on, that I'm from DGC or that I have anything to do with Weezer or all that. So we just tried to make it so we weren't even from this country and I didn't have anything to do with anything from America at all. So.
Right, well, the concept of the whole being a band from behind the Iron Curtain and, you know, being influenced by, like, the early New Wave stuff and everything, was that an afterthought after the songs were written, or did the concept come before that and then you started writing the songs around that?
It's after.
I see. Okay, cool. Speaking of Friends of P, which is a video that we're going to show, everybody wants to know who or what is P. Last week we had some ideas. Maybe it was Prozac, penicillin, Pennsylvania.
P is a secret.
Is it going to be remained a secret? So we're not going to get that out of you today?
Yeah, that's a secret.
Okay.
Everybody says P is either Prozac, Johnny Depp's band, who I don't know anything about, Paulina Porskova, which it's definitely not about, Prozac, all that stuff.
All right, so it's going to remain a secret?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we tried. Anyway, here is the Rentals with a video for Friends of P. With a clip off their self-titled album, that's Weezer with Say It Ain't So here on 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield. Sitting next to me are Rod, Sherlyn, and Matt of the Rentals. What's going on? How are you?
We're fine.
Are you having a good time with that camera? You've been
Yeah, it's kind of a new thing. And
you know, I'm interested to see the rockumentary you're putting together on that thing.
I got Kurt Loder putting on his makeup. I'm kind of happy about that.
Anyway, let's talk a bit about Weezer because, I mean, we're here to concentrate on the Rentals, but we're getting a lot of email and a lot of letters. What's the future of Weezer?
That's fine. A lot of people, whenever they bring up Weezer, they kind of do it like they're walking on
delicately.
glass. Yeah, they're like, well, I don't mean to bring it up, but I mean that's fine with me because that's something I'm proud of and into and that whole thing. We're about halfway done with the new record and just kind of figuring out how we're going to finish it, and we're going to spend Christmas together and kind of see if we can figure out how to end the record that we started. So.
Cool. Well, that's good. At least we know that something's coming out in the future.
Yeah, everybody thinks that either I quit or that, I mean, I think that people have a hard time thinking of a person having two bands or being in two bands because they think it's such a marriage kind of thing. But I mean, you can do both, and I'm doing both, and they both have things that I like to get out of them, and it's definitely different. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's fine. Everybody thinks like I got all these letters from kids and email from kids and things saying that you know, you weren't on the last tour because I dyed my hair, and they thought because of the Say It Ain't So video they thought I had white hair. I don't know, and all this, and you quit, and people were calling me, being mad at me or writing me and saying that, you know, I'm evil for quitting Weezer or something, but I didn't quit, and we're fine, and River's not getting along.
Cool. That's great to hear. Stick around because we'll be talking more with the Rentals and addressing a couple email questions right after the break. Right now we've got a live clip from the Foo Fighters, but first we've got to look at the top 10 albums on alternative radio this week.
Hi, we're Elastica, and you're watching 120 Minutes on MTV.
We've got the latest from Alaska coming up, along with Oasis and Loud Lucy. I'm Matt Pinfield, hanging out with Matt, Rod, and Sherlyn from the Rentals. And let's get to the email questions now. We got a bunch of them. But
by the way, that record cover that they keep showing is wrong, and they've been showing it for 6 weeks, and
that's the one we have, but it's different than the one in the stores. But you'll know. Just ask for Return of the Rentals. That's what you have to ask for. Here's a question that came from Jennifer Schleshman of Norristown, Pennsylvania. It says, since you guys obviously dug new wave, what are your favorite bands from the 80s, and do you like cats named Sid? Rod, an answer for that one?
I actually like a couple bands from the 80s that are pretty new wave. I think Altered Images I like a lot. And I like a band called Wall of Voodoo from L.A., and that was one of the things I liked about the Reynolds, is that Wall of Voodoo was very synth-oriented.
Right, with Mexican radio and Ring of Fire and all that.
They were different synths. There were Casios and Rolands, but yeah.
Yeah, Stan Ridgway was quite a cool frontman as well.
Yeah.
You know, and that's true. How about you, Matt? 80s bands.
I think that the most obvious influence as far as this record goes is, as far as just the parts, is probably Gary Newman. As far as maybe just the way we use things, and as far and maybe Greg Hawkes had kind of an influence on the record as far as just the kind of lines that they are, and I think those are, but that's not the question. But I like those. I like the Cars, and I like Gary Newman, and
Two-Way Army. We were talking about him.
You know, it's Devo and all that stuff. This is pretty wonderful.
Yeah, it's really cool. Speaking of which, how you came together as a band. Rod, you and Sherilyn were from a band called Super Sport 2000, who were on the same indie label with Campfire Girls, who we showed a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So how did that all come about, where you met Matt and got involved with this?
Well, Rod was the first one. He joined up with Matt way before, I guess.
A long affair.
Friends for a
Yeah,
long
they had
time?
a really stormy romance, and Rod would play guitar with Matt, and then, so since I was in the same band as Rod, and eventually I ended up singing on the record.
Cool. And it did a very nice job, by the way, as well. And up next, we're gonna come back, of course, with Weezer. But oh God, the Rentals. Don't kill me for that. No, I'm working on eggshells now. No, a brand new one from the Foo Fighters. This is a live clip, excerpt from a performance special that they did for MTV last month in Brixton, England, called "I'm Okay, You're Okay." The Foo Fighters in London. The song was actually the first single released of their self-titled album. The band decided to not make a video for it. Now you can see them doing it live. Here's the Foo Fighters with "This Is a Call." With a clip off their self-titled debut album, that's the last to go with Car Song here in 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield, and this is Matt, Rod, and Sherilyn of the Rentals. We've got another email question here, and this one is from Mike Deller. It doesn't say where he's from, but he wants to know, who do you think is a better video director, you or Spike Jones, and will you ever direct a Weezer video?
I don't know about the Weezer thing. I kind of doubt it, but maybe someday. Who knows? Me or Spike Jones? Who's to say I'm not Spike Jones? Who's to say? I mean, nobody even really knows what Spike looks like, so maybe I am Spike Jones. But, you know, I don't know. I'm probably not him. So, okay, so here we go. What was the question?
No, the question was if you were a better director or not. You know what? I think you answered that as good as you
Well, you know, it's all, you know, with all the partying Spike does, he's not really together anymore. He doesn't really have it. He doesn't have that eye of the tiger.
Let's talk a bit about the fact that this video cost about $400, and it was very cheap, and you did it at home, right? You did it, was it done in your living room?
Well, the video sort of, like the record, was just something we wanted to do. I think, I mean, I guess everybody says that. I don't think necessarily that this makes us really cool or anything, but it's just something that we wanted to do for ourselves, and it wasn't necessarily thought of. I mean, actually, the thought of being on MTV was kind of, that was a total joke. We were like, that's ridiculous, this thing. I mean, we weren't really thinking of it as a video. I mean, it's just like Rod owned the camera, and he shot it.
Run on speed.
And it was totally running out of sync, and we just did it on our own, very much like the record. I mean, we had nothing to do with any, like, there was no management or record labels or industry people involved in anything we were doing. We're just, I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily think that's the coolest thing in the world, but I just would like to go, well, we did this really low-budget record,
right,
which a lot of people sort of, I don't know, it's just that I wanted to record some songs, and we wanted to make and film some footage of us playing, and that's kind of what it came from, instead of, it wasn't this big plot to get on the radio or to get to even to release a record on a majorly distributed level. Or,
right, because you recorded yourself with your own money before anything even happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, and Tom was, a lot of the times Tom wasn't even charging me. He was just, we just let it slide because we became friends, and we ended up playing more in television than we ended up recording half the time anyway. So he he charged me if he could, and I was selling stuff to Rod, so he would give me money so I could give it to Tom, and just kind of...
And that's how you got together, because there was all that money owed. And
yeah, because I knew Rod was a wealth of cash. So
we know Rod has a lot of money. We're going to come back in a minute. Stick around, because we'll be talking more with Matt, Rod, and Sherlin. And right after the break, we're going to play a video from a member of the Rentals who isn't with us today. That's Petra Hayden and her other band, That Dog. Petra?
Petra.
Like Petra, like Tetra?
Alright, I'm Noel.
And I'm Bonut.
And we're from Oasis, and you are watching 120 Minutes on MTV.
We got the latest from Oasis coming up, plus a new one from Ash on Matt Pinfield, and this is Matt, Rod, and Sherlin of the Rentals. And although I've called them Weezer and said Petra instead of Petra, because I have a friend named Petra, sorry about that. But it's all right, because we're human, we make mistakes, and at least they're nice mistakes, they're honest ones. Speaking of things that aren't mistakes, we were saying before, I want to get a little more into it. You did this record with your own money. It was something that you said, oh, you know, I'm just going to do this on the side. Was it always a thought that if it didn't get picked up by somebody like Maverick, that you'd actually put it out on your own and just do it as an indie thing?
Well, I mean, initially I sort of asked people what they thought, if they wanted to help me out, and asked around, and everybody said, no, I have no interest in helping you. So we just said, okay, well, then just leave us alone, and we're going to kind of go to Tom's, which is sort of a cave-like atmosphere in a way, and we just shut everybody out and did it ourselves. And I said, like, kind of struggled as far as trying to get the money together to complete it, and it took a long time. The record took about 6 weeks to complete, but it was over a year and a half. It was in between touring, and it was before with the whole Weezer thing, and I don't know, but the craziest thing is that this independent label at one point said, we might be interested in putting this record out, and we all flipped out, thinking that was insane. And because I just figured that I would put it out myself, or we'd put it out on Win Records, which is Tom Grimley's label, right. And I'm just a kind of a low-key thing, because I didn't even know if it was good, or if it was mediocre, or if it sucked, or if it was the greatest thing in the world, or we're just kind of not really thinking of it, like I said, as even a record. We're just recording, and then the fact that any major label would want to put it out was just sort of like, okay, I think,
like, wow.
Okay,
and then also
sure, everybody's like, this is going to be a smash. And
it was on radio, and like the video was on a lot.
And I still think it's kind of an absurd thing for people to think like that, because it's not, it's a low budget record, and it's also doesn't, I mean, not that we're holier than thou or anything, but it doesn't really sound like most records as far as what we're doing, I think. I mean, songwriting-wise, maybe, but all the synths and everything.
Yeah, the Moog synthesizer use.
I was like, I don't know if people are going to get this or not, or if kids are going to think that, like that one article said, that we're sissy new wave, or you know, or yeah, but we're proud of that. So I don't, you know. So I don't know. I just kind of was like, I don't know. And I think if everybody thinks that people think there's going to be this big synth revival, I think that's pretty weird. But that'd be nice. But I think it'd be something that people would have to stick with for a while before
they really were able to digest it.
For people that are able to be able to get into it.
Right. There's been a lot of things. I mean, it goes back to those early. Like
that's why I was so surprised when MTV decided to start playing the video at all.
Well, we were glad to do it, actually.
But it was pretty weird. It was like, okay, wow, that's really strange.
You know how we are on 120, though. We like to play a lot of different things, and so does the channel, so cool. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Unfortunately, we've got to stop this now, which bums me out, because I've talked to you for a while.
Well, thank you for having me.
But right now, we're going to play a video from That Dog, which, of course, is Rental
with Petrie.
Petra Hayden's other band, of course, from Totally Crushed Out, which is the album. It's their second album, and it's a video called He's Kissing Christian, right here on 120 Minutes. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.